If you have trouble staying down in the shot, staying down through impact, this is going to be a video for you. In today's video, we're going to show you why golfers struggle with staying down through impact. We're going to show you what the best players in the world do instead. Then we're going to give you a drill to help you ingrain it.
Yeah, so when you talk about staying down, I think what people are referencing is just popping the upper body kind of up out of the shot. Hips will come in some.
You
and
see the hands flip by, and you get the whole kit and caboodle. Yep.
They have to overthrow it to make contact. So, golfers are doing things because they have to, because of what came before it. So if you're doing that in the downswing, there's something going on, and a lot of times the top one or two reasons. One would be an overly steep club, right, coming out of the top. It would crash into the ground if I didn't kind of pop up and throw a shallow in there, right? Two shallows, standing up and throwing. The other one would be, if my weight would be too far back and I was going to crash into the ground, I'll pop up and kind of flick it again. And the other one probably, if you're too far underneath, you would crash in the ground. You might pop up and kind of hit a big push or a hook. Right.
And you'll see not only the head lift, which is what everybody focuses on, which is a little bit of an illusion, but you'll see the body really lift and
legs
where,
straighten.
I mean, we've had a lot of swing videos, just online lessons or in-person lessons where at impact, the upper body is pretty vertical.
Yeah. If they didn't, they would hurt themselves or drive the club into the ground.
Yeah, or lose their club head into the ground. To do the opposite of that, we see golfers, like we'll see, they'll either come in doing that in lessons, or we'll come in and get the guy that's just both hips back, coming down and pretty much squared back up at the top because they see themselves on video not lifting. So, but it doesn't feel great.
Yeah.
Like that is not the solution for coming up, just to plow yourself into the ground.
It's probably going to make you worse if you don't fix the things, the root cause of these issues while you're standing up. And I think, in a way, you have to understand that you got to get the club. There's not too many ways you can put this club in the body here in order to have that tour-looking, I call it, staying in the shot look. So, first off, you want to try to get all that organized coming out of the top. And then once you have that, you still need an understanding of like where the body, arms, and club need to be positioned down there, just so you have a concept like what I'm trying to move through here down by the ball.
What you'll see with the best players in the world is, and it's a little bit of illusion, staying down, right? I don't like that description much of this at all because it's not what happens.
It's a terrible description.
Right? That you can pile that right next to early extension. Terrible description of what happens. So in the downswing at around lead arm parallel, or even a couple ticks above lead arm parallel, the best players in the world are starting to move up with their pelvis, which raises their rib cage and even the rib cage a little more. Now, if you're a golfer who struggles with staying down, you're like, well, I already do that move, but it's a little different how they're doing it because they're adding the tilt to allow themselves to get to the ground. Yeah. And that's the big missing piece.
It's learning, understanding swing is a 3D motion.
Right.
And what you see on video, a lot of times there's a few other parts and pieces in there that give you that look that you really can't see really clearly in a video.
Right.
And what Mike's talking about here is that, at impact, my pelvis is kind of rising, my belt buckle's rising because my pelvis is posteriorly kind of tilting through there, right? Left leg straightening. Right leg is, let's say, 3 times more bent, somewhere in that ballpark than the lead leg. And if
2 to 3, yep.
If you do that the right way, your knees the lead knee will be higher than the trail knee, which will put the lead hip higher than the trail hip, which will put the lead shoulder lower than the trail shoulder lower than the lead shoulder, and that gets me into that tour impact position. So the body is kind of coming up as I'm side bending here, and the head could be actually kind of continuing moving down depending on your neck mobility.
Right. So you see tour player, age group, right? Younger guys, they have a ton of neck mobility. Neck can move down as much as 5-6 inches as the body's moving the opposite direction.
Well, yeah, you look at the amount of movement you have just flexing the neck downward. You've called it the cat stretch kind of look right here, and it's kind of what it looks like, right? If your neck takes on that look where it's bowing downward some.
And you will see that to start to minimize or even go away by the time those players get on the Champions Tour.
Yeah, depending on how much mobility.
You lose neck mobility, so you'll start to see the head come up a little bit. So the head itself is not the true barometer of you staying down. It's how that body moves. And you touched perfectly on it. We like to see as golfers, we like to think, well, I just got to keep my head down, so it's like a top-down solution. You got to think of it as a bottom-up solution. Like getting my knees to change height. Now that's different. You made this point in a number of videos where that's different than just lifting my knee up.
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
It's knee bend, but it's raising the knee, which raises the pelvis. We don't want to do that.
No, because that keeps the trail hip too high. And again, then you start losing the club face because you can't get in that really nice side bent position, which helps control the movements through impact.
Yes.
The other thing, about just looking at the head is a kind of an easy reference, but you got to remember, you don't want to lock your head in place. You want to have good head movements because the torso is making a good movement.
Right.
And to do that, the pelvis has to make its movement, and the knees have to move correctly, and the feet have to move correctly. So like you said, you can't just top down it.
Right.
Things have to be coming up correctly through the ground in order to have this look that we're all trying to achieve.
Before we dive into the drill, if you're not a subscriber to the channel, what are you doing?
Yeah, especially if you're watching. Come on now.
If we've ever helped you in a swing or with your swing, please subscribe. It helps us out a bunch. Also, if you have a question about anything you see in this video or a past video or a video we haven't even made yet, and you want help with your swing, put in the comments. We'll be happy to make a video to help you specifically with what you're working on. What's a great drill to start to really kind of develop this? So the backswing is lead side low. I think we can all see that. The downswing has to be the shift to right side low or trail side low. What's a great drill you like to do this? Starting from the ground up.
It's really difficult just to work on impact, but you can get your concepts of impact. And
I think this is such an awareness for golfers
Yeah.
that I like when we go play, if we're waiting for the hole to clear, or we're just, we got somebody else playing with us, you'll look over and invariably you'll see Shaun taking himself like from about here to impact, just creating that awareness of what he's going to do on the next shot.
always, like I'm
And I
always into that kind of phase through here.
And I think a lot of golfers could benefit from doing that.
Yeah, and my kiss of death is I bend the trail knee, but my hip gets high, and then that's when I start losing the club face. So, I'll take it back here and just kind of, I'll stop just real momentarily and make sure my knees are different.
So his left is lower, right? His trail side is lower than his right. That tilts his hips that same direction, which allows the upper body to tilt that direction. So you kind of get the upper body tilt for free.
You do, and I'll pose that a few times. I might take it back waist high to waist high, just feel that motion through there. And if I'm on the range, I may pose it and then take it back waist high and just chip some balls out there to feel that. But again, you have to remember, a lot of other things need to be in place to get there. But let's just food for thought. Say you have everything organized. This little drill right here will help you get through this impact area and get some really good face to path kind of control.
Yeah, if this doesn't work for you, this awareness drill doesn't work for you, we've got a lot of videos on how to shallow the club, how to not be underplaying, how to not be stuck on your backside. Like all of those things are causes for this. Go check those out. But again, creating the awareness for what we're trying to do. We all have our own perception of what we're doing. That's usually nowhere attached to reality. So creating this perception, hey man, Shaun, does this look right? Does my right knee look lower? No, they're the same. So just getting some feedback from your buddy while waiting for the hole to clear can be a big deal for you. So create that awareness. You can't do that enough times.